What a way to end a smashing day in Tokyo Bay.
Safe to say, Tokyo was an absolute blast. Definitely up there in my top 3 cities around the world, and somewhere I'll endeavour to come back to. Mainly because that's where my return flight departs from, but without doubt I'll be heading back. But the next adventure beckoned, and this time it was off to Fuji, and it was our first chance to experience a bit of Japan's famous rail travel.
Train travel is such a big thing about being here in Japan. Like, I'm well excited. I feel like I'm a little train spotter. What's that geezer called? Francis?
Oh, this is bourgeois.
I feel like I'm Francis Bourgeois. He'd be having a heart attack right now.
Safe to say I enjoyed my first time on a Japanese train outside of Tokyo. We had a quick change at a town called Otsuki before hopping on what could only be called the tourist mobile, taking us to another town called Kawaguchi. One of the many access points to Fuji San, but for us it was perfectly situated on one of the most well-known bass lakes in Japan, that being Lake Kawaguchi. Lake Kawaguchi is one of the infamous Fuji 5 lakes and the most busy in terms of tourism. As you can imagine, there were various nationalities and cultures all wanting to see the stunning Mount Fuji. Well folks, bang average fishing. I hope you're enjoying this Japanese adventure as much as I am. Well, I'm obviously going to enjoy it. I'm doing it. It's mental. Anywho, what a time we had in Tokyo. That's been and gone. We've moved on and we've moved out to the countryside, and not just any countryside. We are currently sat right below Mount Fuji. Fuji is the 7th largest peak on any island. Weird fact for you, I know. But it is an active volcano, and that only means one thing: fish. And the reason for that is plenty of water, and water that is warm. We are here in roughly about March time, and it does look lovely and it is pretty warm, but it has been freezing here for months. But that water behind me has never dropped below 12 degrees. As such, that means the fishing round here is mental. The fish will feed all year round. And it's not just any old fish either. In this lake behind me, which is Lake Kawaguchi, there's largemouth bass and black bass. Oh, the premier, the ultimate sport fish, and I'm so excited to get fishing. Worst case scenario, there's plenty of little commercials and tiny little pools and stuff like that, all with warm, toasty water full of trout for us to go fishing. Fuji is sacred to Japanese people, and I've always been a little bit curious of it from afar. So I really wanted to come and experience it for myself and see what the actual crack is. Why do the Japanese people love this place so much? Who knows? Let's find out. And that's what we're gonna do. Sit tight guys, it's gonna get a little bit messy. And I'm also gonna say, I got up super early this morning and got on the fishing, regardless of the almighty hangover that I was nursing. You know what's gonna happen when you meet an Aussie in a hostel, innit? The bevs are gonna flow. Anyway folks, let's crack on.
It's a beautiful morning. I'm hanging out my arse. I'm going bass fishing under Mount Fuji. Beautiful. This is what happens when you meet an Aussie in an hotel. You just end up always getting hammered. It's just the way it goes when you're travelling. The Aussies just love a bevy, and us Brits love a bevy, and the two combined just never go well together. And here we are, sounding like Bill Withers, hoping to maybe catch a bass under that bad boy. Could be tough. It's bloody cold. Got a bike though.
Definitely still a little bit drunk, I wobbled down to the lake and purchased my ticket from the fishing ticket vending machine. How cool is that, by the way? A fishing ticket vending machine. Mental. Anyway, with last night's lemon sour still in full flow, I was ready to get fishing.
Been hungover in some shocking places, but I think this is the best place I've ever been hungover. Mount Fuji. Potential of a bass. Beautiful. God, I am rough. Rough as a dog's beep, beep, beep. There's a big bass boat out there, which tells me I'm in the right spot. It'd be nice to be on that boat though, I'll be honest. And I can't get over the fishing vending machine either. It's just nuts. I tell you what folks, I must be hungover. Look at that! What a shocker! Let's hope we don't get a fish in this cast, eh? But the record bass that came out of here is 10 kilo. Could you imagine? And the great thing is you can hire a boat, you can hire a motorboat here, like, which is pretty good. I mean, I would have hired one if I wasn't so skinned. These trips aren't cheap, you know. There's so much fishing. And I've got the bike as well, so we're just going to literally work our way around this lake. Just fish all the structure that we can. Nothing better than curing a hangover, than getting out on the lake, bit of exercise, bit of fishing. We'll be rocking in no time.
Well, this truly is an unbelievable spot to be fishing. I'll be frank with you, we're probably not going to catch anything. It's always tough fishing anyways on big waters like this when you've never fished them before. But hey, fishing in front of Mount Fuji in the middle of Japan, I'm not complaining. I'm also loving using some crazy ass Japanese lures, like this guy. This is the Dono Minnow. Look at it, it's so cool. It's got a lovely little spinner action on the bottom, lovely diving, streamlined shape. The action on this guy is insane. It's a floating minnow, and I'm well excited to use these in England, to be honest with you, because I think the trout and the chub in the summer will go bananas. They're gonna go posse.
It was a tough morning's fishing for more ways than one, but what a place, and it was certainly one of the best Monday mornings I've ever had. And you just couldn't get bored of looking at that mountain. It's literally like the dream mountain in your head. I had a quick coffee and set off to see more of the lake. It's the second largest of the 5 lakes and has roughly about 20 kilometres of shoreline. I got back on the bike and went after a few more fishing spots. In reality, it was more about seeing the area and taking in the beauty of not just the mountain, but the lake as well. A particular highlight being the abundance of red-tailed hawks swooping overhead.
We all know that feeling.
We're having an amazing time here on Lake Kawaguchi. I can't get enough of this. I really can't. Just cycling around the lake, seeing the sights, doing whatever. This is what fishing is about.
These are probably going to be the last casts today. It's been quite a long day's fishing, and I'm absolutely goose.
I was dying out there and made my way back before casually bumping into Sarah, who was equally struggling.
Well folks, another day, another lake, and we're here on Lake Yamanaka. This is probably one of the shallower of the 5 alpine lakes that surround Fuji. And Fuji's somewhere over here right now, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if the backlight is sort of nulling the view of it, but it's a very different angle of it, and it's a really cool little spot. We're in a tiny, tiny little village on the lake here, and I'm staying in this awesome little hostel hotel place. It's like staying at my grand's, I'll be honest with you, and I'm not complaining. She made me a little bit of tea and gave me some biscuits when I arrived. I was like, oh bloody hell, what more could you ask for? But anyway, we're here on this lake, and for me, this was about sort of having a bit of serenity. This is one of the quieter lakes of the 5, but I will be truthful, the fishing isn't ideal. With it being so shallow, the drop-offs are miles out. So realistically, you do need a boat. We're not going to be able to get on the lake next to me, which is an absolute shame, because this is another big bass lake. We might have a little cast just for the lols, but I'm not really hoping of anything, to be truthful. It's a stunning part of the world, and I am in my absolute element.
Lake Yamanaka was pretty quiet. I can imagine in summer it does see its fair share of tourist traffic, but in March it was like a ghost town, and I wasn't complaining. The sand around the lake is black due to lava erosion. Fuji is an active volcano, and as such the surrounding areas are unique. For example, Ashino. Ashino is a small village full of hot springs and crystal clear water, and is in fact a World Heritage Site. It was pretty cool, and in the crystal clear waters lived one of our target species.
Don't get me wrong, these fish, they look beautiful, but when you start looking up close, how gammy are their mouths, man? I don't really want to know why, in truth. But these yellow ones are so cool. Get them in the UK. Spice up some of our reservoirs. You would see them a mile off.
We all know why they might be a bit gammy, so let's not dwell on the negatives. My tummy was rumbling and went in hunt for some local delicacies.
Getting into these delicacies.
Don't really taste of anything.
It's neither nice nor disgusting.
Still not sure what that green thing was. If you know, drop us a comment, it would be much appreciated. But still, in hindsight, I'd wish I'd given it to that carp to nibble on. But after a mooch around, I made my way back across the village in order to get the bus back. However, my brief trip to Ashino did point me in the direction of some potential fishing.
Quick little glance at Fuji before we go. Oh, it's a beautiful morning, folks. I'll be honest, I had a bit of a lie-in. I also took it easy last night. The travelling does start to catch up with you after a while. We've been away now about 3 weeks. But loads of cloud cover over Fuji. It's really nice. But this is our last day to try and catch some fish in and around this place. And I think I've got something up my sleeve where we might be able to nail a few fish.
We got on the bus back to Ashino, and I was looking forward to cracking the rods out, but disaster struck.
Fell asleep on the bus. Bloody miles away. I've had a shocker here. Right. I think it's a good hour walk, so let's just crack on with it. Jesus Christ.
So, I'll let you all in on a secret. I was hoping to fish the Shinasho River that runs through Ashino, and on arrival yesterday the season didn't open for another couple days. So, my inadvertent detour took me past this magical river and teased me that little bit more. But hey ho, no harm done, and before we knew it, we were at our intended destination.
We've made it. The map looks pretty cool, doesn't it? I mean, a bit of a weird spot. Looks a bit run down. Had a little quick glimpse at the water and it's crystal blue. And there's a guy fishing, he's got a fish on. We need to just get paid and get fishing. There's some monster trout in here. Fish on. Nice. Yeah. Oh, I forgot how hard rainbows fight. That's a nice fish, that as well. Oh, my net's down there. What a surprise. Nice. Oh, that's a biggie. That's a huge rainbow. Look at him go. Oh, I forgot how fun rainbow trout are. That is big. I'm only using barbless single hooks as well, so he could very likely come off. Oh, get out of there. That's big. That is a big trout. That is a huge trout. Look at him. Get it. On this small gear as well. This is what we want. Great fun. Great fun. Right beneath Fuji. What more could you want? Whoa! You forget how hard these fish fight. I don't fish for rainbows very often, but they're such good fun. Come on. Get in the net, sir. He's got himself in a right tangle, this lad. Bloody hell, it's got to be like 5 or 6 pounds. It's like a 5 or 6 pound rainbow, that. What? This is nuts. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. It's the biggest rainbow I've ever freaking seen. I can't even fit him in my net. I can't get him in the net. I borrowed a net from the shop. It's not big enough. I might actually use mine here. I think mine's probably a bit better. It's tight, it's smaller, but I can't get it in. There's no flex. Come on. Right, we'll take 2 on this net. You're getting in there, you little knobhead. Come on. He's fighting so hard. It is a big fish, and I've hooked him weirdly. I thought I had. Hooked him out on the side. He's gone for it, and then he probably missed it. Yeah, he's in. No, he's not. I can't get him in that bloody net. He's going in this one. It's tiny, but I'm absolutely making a meal of this. But it's a huge rainbow. When I get it up to the camera for you, you are going to be like, bloody hell, that is massive. Yeah, this is the best net. Look at that! What on earth? Where do I even start with that rainbow? It's huge. I know it's a giant stocky, but
Oh, the Fuji as well. Take a bow. Let's get the guy back. What a fish. What a fish that is. Beautiful. Sorry for the camera angle, it's nearly just fallen in. But let's get this guy back. There we go. Got a bit of kicking in. Yeah? You good, mate? Well, that was a bit nuts, wasn't it? What a huge fish. No words. No words whatsoever.
I have to say, this is absolutely stunning. A bit of a moral crisis and dilemma with it, in truth. I mean, it's one of those, this. It seems like you're catching sitting ducks, but it's actually solid. It's completely catch and release as well, so all these fish go back. So they're freaking well smart.
I really didn't know what to make of my time at Ashino Fishing Park. I felt like I'd cheated, and to be quite frank, I didn't enjoy it. It felt a bit torturous, but nevertheless, I can't take too much of a moral high ground. The fish gave a proper scrap and it was bloody huge. And after a few hours, I headed off for some food and fancied a trip down memory lane.
After that slightly strange fishing trip this morning, I've opted for an equally strange lunch choice. That is horse meat udon. I used to love Aldi lasagnas, so I'm assuming it'll be alright.
After a bit of horsing around, I set off to see my last Fuji sunset and made my way back to my accommodation. However, an unexpected visitor came and paid a visit.
There's a big carp just chilling here. So I've literally just put on a crust with a random hook that I found in my bag. And I'm gonna see if he goes for it. He's underneath it, I think. No, he's not, he's there. Got to put in the bread from earlier. Right, I'm just gonna have to be patient, I think. Right on him. Here we go. Yeah, he's on. Big carp. This is a huge carp. Unbelievable scenes. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Big carp on the Fuji, baby. Oh my days. Oh my days, on this little rod. On this little rod. Look at that. Let's get him in. And look, I know I've got a tiny net, but he's not that big. Should be able to get him in okay. Come on. I'm gonna get soaked in getting this guy in, I think, but it's worth it. It's so worth it. Come on, get in the net, mate. Come on. That's a huge carp. I know you don't want to come in the net, mate, but you're gonna have to come in this little net. Pretty much just gonna beach him, I think. Probably makes more sense to just beach him.
Before the carp police put the sirens on, this guy was rolling around in the sand, and carp are tougher than you think. They can definitely cope with a little bit of soft volcanic sand.
Come on. In we come. Big fish. It's a big carp. It's a big old slab of a carp. It's a big old slab. Come on. Just get on the beach, mate. It's probably the best way for you here, pal. What a fish that is, guys. What a fish.
Oh my days, guys. What a way to end our time here in Fuji. This is a stunning fish. Easily, it's a double by a long way. But what a carp. What a fish that is. Oh my days. No words. Under Fuji as well. This has been mental. The fishing has been a bit strange. But to end on this, no bloody words. What a fish. A bit of floating bread. Speechless. But right, it's definitely time to get this fish back. And I'm doing the classic carp pose and my head just perched over the fish. Beautiful. Let's get her back.
What a fish. Beautiful. Japanese carp. Off you go, sir. She's slinking off. Oh, Fuji, I freaking love you.
And that is how you end your time in Mount Fuji. Tight lines, folks, keep fishing. If you've enjoyed this video, folks, hit that subscribe button. Tight lines, keep fishing.